Creamer Media's Mining Weekly Online is talking to Wahid Suleiman, the CEO of Wescoal, a coal mining and coal marketing company that has been true to its promises of becoming black controlled and of pursuing junior consolidation. Wescoal has well exceeded Eskom's requirement of being a 50% plus one share black controlled company and has begun to consolidate the junior space with the Keaton Coal acquisition progress. It's been a busy year, Wahid.
Yes, it has.
Can
Thanks,
you fill us
Martin.
in on what's happened?
Sure. Where to begin? Yeah, we've done quite a lot over the past year. I think one of the major milestones for the company has been the Eskom contract, finalizing that 5-year contract to sell to them approximately 7.8 million tons over the 5-year period. Been very important for us and a great source of revenue and driving business value. We've also concluded a few export contracts as well. We're looking to export 1 million tons a year of coal for the next 3 years. Also great for us, very important for us. And what we've also done is we've met Eskom's requirements, as you just said, meeting the more than 50% black owned. So concluding the BEE deal was really a big thing for us. The other nice thing about this BEE deal was that it actually resulted in new equity coming into the company. So that company actually managed to grow a bit from this BEE transaction also, which was great. And we used some of that money for the Keaton transaction. And that's really part of our strategy to grow the business in a sustainable way and to look to drive consolidation in the coal space. And we believe that we're in a great space to do that. The Keaton deal is now unconditional and it's going to be closing shortly. We expect the first half of July to close. And once that happens, we'll have a whole lot more resources to work with. We'll have different revenue streams as well. And we believe it will create a great base for the next step going forward again. So yeah, it has been a busy year, but an exciting year and a very, very rewarding year also. We've also spent a fair amount of time working on our management team. So the management team now is much more robust, much more stable. We've got succession planning in place. We've had a transition over the past year of a new head of mining coming in. So Tiba is now our new head of mining. Dutch has moved out into the growth space in Wescoal, helping us to evaluate new projects, helping us to look at what's happening in Keaton. So he's not lost to the group. His experience is still in there, helping us. But what we're doing is we're trying to create a pipeline of succession for our management.
And what is the total tonnage that you produced in the 12 months to March 31? And what will be your output once you have Keaton in the fold and also all your progress with Spread?
So total production was about 3.3 million tons over the previous 12 months. And what we are going to be doing is we'll include the Keaton production and then also our smaller projects, Kanyisa and Intibani, which have ramped up over the past year and closed. We'll look to produce, let's say, another 1 million tons from those two. So that plus the Keaton operations, we believe that our total RAM production will be in the region of about 6 million tons, just over 6 million tons. And that we're hoping to grow to over 8 in the short to medium term, and that's again through growth projects. So what we will look to do is to grow some of the Keaton projects, bring those online, much as what we did with Spruit a few years ago, and in that way ramp up to 8 million tons from the group itself. So that's our, let's say, our short-term objective, Martin.
And what is the percentage going to Eskom and going into the domestic market, and what is the percentage going on the export market?
Yeah, so for me, this is one of the great stories at Wescoal over the past few years. When I joined Wescoal, Wescoal was really an Eskom business. We mined coal, the coal went to Eskom. So we were a single customer, single commodity type business. And what we've done over the past years is we've tried to diversify our revenue streams. So we've gone out, looked into the market, tried to find different opportunities to sell coal and to do other sorts of things in the coal space. So where we were a couple of years ago, approximately 80% of the coal went to Eskom and 80% of our profits from Eskom. Where we are right now is between 50 and 60% Eskom and the rest, spread out through diverse portfolios, including exports. So let's say about 1 million tons a year. So at the moment, maybe 20 to 25% of the coal goes to export, and let's say about half or so goes to Eskom, and the rest to other businesses and other customers.
And what are your logistics like for the exportation of your production?
So we do have quattro allocation, and we do have access to the various export terminals through other third parties. The logistics is not really a major problem for us. It's not a bottleneck at all. What we found is that the more coal that we can produce, the more we can sell, and we can export if we need to export as well. So our desire has really been to find good business deals, and if it makes sense, then we will mine a bit more and we'll sell the coal. And the Keaton resource is really great in the sense also because it creates more optionality. And we can ramp up the Van Gatvontein project fairly easily, we believe, allowing us to sell more coal. We'll develop the Moabsvelden project also, which is the new project I was referring to, which will allow us to again find other customers also.
And the customers that you go to in the world, who are they?
Most of the coal in Wescoal's resource base at this point in time is of a, let's say, lower grade coal, which is why Eskom is our natural customer. Eskom is always going to be very important to us. The rest of the coal, when we export, a lot of it ends up in the Indian market. So for example, we would sell an RB3 type coal, there or thereabouts. That coal is not going to make its way through to China. So you're really looking at the Indian market mostly, and some of the other Asian customers.
And what is your balance sheet looking like, and cash flow projections? How are you looking for the months ahead and the year ahead?
I believe we're in a very strong position, predominantly from the long-term contracts with Eskom and the exporters also. And what that has done is it's allowed us to raise long-term debt also, and we are at an advanced stage with funders to introduce long-term debt into the business, and that will also enable future growth as well. So the cash flow position is much better now than what it was a few years ago, and we're in a fairly comfortable position. I mean, we spoke about EBITDA numbers in the region of, 194 million rand. So the business is generating good cash, and what we have been doing is, over the past 12 months or so, the cash has been going towards Keaton. Now we've acquired Keaton. Now we're going to start to look at the next target, or we're going to look to grow our internal projects. The cash flow position is good enough for us to be able to declare a dividend as well to shareholders. So we are going to look to make some payment in the region of 12 million rand. And that's in addition to the special dividend we paid earlier in the financial year as well. So we are turning over money, and we are looking to reward shareholders with that as well, but in a careful manner. And that's not just to pay out all of the excess cash to shareholders. We do want to keep some of it to grow the business as well also.
And you've been through quite an acquisitive stage, and you've also brought in BEE credentials, which I say are beyond BEE. This is black control that you've got there. Yeah. Does that black control give you an opportunity to do more acquisitions now?
Look, I think that it gives us a competitive edge over the other coal players out there. And if you take the black control, so we're black control, we're listed on the JSE, we've started up a new project at Elandspread successfully, we've run a couple of mines successfully over a few years, we've got a trading company as well also. So when I look at all of those things and I put it together, I say, wow, Wescoal's got a lot going for it. And that does allow us to go to other parties out there and say, hey, we're interested in acquiring you, and have conversations with their shareholders and show to them that we can add value to them and improve their value as well, which is really what's happened with Keaton. So the black ownership definitely does give us an edge, and it's part of the overall suite of advantages that we have as a company.
And one of the things we need a bit of explanation on are the fact that there are non-recurring costs.
Sure.
So when we look at your results for the 12 months to March 31, we have a situation that is not really reflective of what you're capable of. Can you give us that word picture of when you strip out the non-recurring costs, what you actually did in the 12 months to March 31st?
So just the non-recurring costs are the costs associated with B transaction and the Keaton acquisition. And if we strip out those, and those were about 90 million rand, right? If we strip those out, we're looking at an operational profit EBITDA number of 294 million rand. and that was compared to last year of 150 million rand. So at an EBITDA level, stripping out all of those matters and looking at it on a normalized basis, the EBITDA grew by 94%. And at an earnings level, we went from about 27 cents a share to about 54 cents a share. So we've doubled the profit generation in the business, stripping out all those other matters. And I think that this is something that can be repeated in the company. For me, it's very important to show that we can repeat what we've done before, and to just keep doing that going forward and building confidence with our shareholders and with our stakeholders. So yeah, the business has done really, really well, I believe.
And you've also positioned yourself very well for the future and for the ongoing months ahead.
Absolutely, yes, we are. And we're going to have conversations again with Eskom to see if there are other opportunities to work with them. We're going to have conversations with other customers as well also, and explore that wide base of opportunities. Within Keaton itself, we are going to look at synergies. We're going to have to integrate that business, and that's going to have its own challenges this coming year. So that's probably going to be one of our main focus areas, to make sure we get that right, and then to work on that and to try to add value through that into the Wescoal group.
And you still see consolidation possibilities within the junior space?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, we do. There are a number of options we are looking at, and we do want to grow. The thing is, we want to grow in a sustainable manner, though, and not just to buy and to grow things for the sake of doing that. It's got to add value, and what we know foremost for us is to be successful with the Keaton integration. So we're not going to be chasing after something else at the expense of the Keaton integration. If there are great opportunities that are easy to implement and quick to do, then we may do that. But I think that we will look to grow the business and to consolidate the coal junior space, but in a responsible, sustainable manner.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly Online, speaking to Wahid Suleiman, the CEO of Wescoal, a company that not only mines but also trades coal and is listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.